Welcome to Glitches to Gold, a weekly podcast birthed from my obsession with living a successful life. It began with chasing an Olympic dream and resulted in a 30-year obsession explored through sport, neuroscience, psychology, energetics, quantum mechanics, religion, art, and beauty. Sometimes chasing and achieving external markers, and at others experiencing the absolute opposite. Yet both taught me the same undeniable truth, and I'm here to share what I have discovered in the journey of mastering the alchemy of life, turning glitches to gold and success into overflow. If you like the podcast, share the love, like, rate, and subscribe on your favourite platform. Hey, my loves, and welcome to today's episode of Glitches to Gold. I'm so pleased that you're joining me. And today I felt really called to speak about the money patterns that you have, what you've been seeing in your life, the experiences you've had with money was never yours. You have inherited patterns, stories about money that were never yours as a woman. But it wasn't the fault of the women who gave them to you. In 1975, when I was born, women literally still couldn't open a bank account without a male signatory. They couldn't get credit without a male signatory. They couldn't get a mortgage without a male signatory. They couldn't get a TV on loan without a male signatory. It was only in 1964 that the law changed that women were supposed to have the equal access to housekeeping money, the income in the house. That was 1964. The year I was born was 1975. This isn't eons ago. This isn't hundreds of years ago. This is literally 50 years ago in my lifetime, my mum's lifetime, my grandparents' lifetime, that the women in my life experienced a collective impression that money was something they were not allowed to have or to hold, that they couldn't manage it, that it would be too powerful for them. It was something that was out of their hands. It was only actually 1874, the law changed that women who had property in their own right, that they'd inherited, were allowed to keep it. That when they got married, they didn't lose their property. Can you imagine? That's not actually that long ago. That's 150 years ago. Now, those stories that from your ancestors, from your immediate family, from your longer term family, have been passing that down, both within the masculine and the feminine. But the women conditionally sent along this message, even though we were fighting to have the vote and fighting to have equal rights and fighting to have equal pay. Those moments have been fought for hard. But the ingrained, inherited, absorbed story is that money is not yours to have or to hold. And so the patterns that I have seen over my 20 years of working, 20 plus years now, of working with women, both as a psychotherapist and in business, as a business consultant, as a spiritual teacher, in all of these ways, is it matched the stories that I found in myself, that I had to clear over and over and over again in myself. How is it I could make a lot of money, but I would lose it? I could manifest a lot of money and I would lose it. That I couldn't get comfortable with having and holding money because some part of me, within me, was saying, no, that's not true. That's not the pattern. That's not what we're taught. You're a girl. You're a woman. You can't do money. And yet, the amazing women who fought for our rights, the amazing women who have fought for the changes and the generations coming up have such a different idea about money. I didn't have a block about making money for other people. I've made other people so much money. I've made other women so much money. And yet for myself, it just this deep ingraining story. And I saw it in the women that I was working with. And it came down to attachment styles. So they were either approaching it from an avoidance part of view, that they didn't want to look at money at all. They just hoped it would come in and come out. There were still stories when I was growing up, I'm going to marry for money. And how many stories are still in our society that say, oh, I'm just going to marry somebody else's money. But that was the programming of the past. That's all women could do to better themselves, was marry someone else's money and hope that they died and didn't marry again. Yeah, didn't marry again, so that they could keep hold of the money. The other alternative was that they had to sell their body. Prostitutes made good money. Courtesans made awfully good money. The better you were at sex and charming, the more money you made. Now, this has nothing about the masculine. I'm not talking about the masculine at all. I'm talking about the patterns and the conditioning of society. And it could make you angry. Or you could decide in this moment, for the first time in history, truly for the first time in history, modern women are free to change the story with money. But it has got to change by being and looking at inside and not playing out the same masculine patterns. Because, and this is something I've definitely seen, that women are falling into the pattern of she does it all, she gives it all, she works even harder because she's had to fight to get the vote, she's had to fight to get her rights, she's had to fight to get a job, she's had to fight to better money, she's had to fight to take up space, and so she believes that she has to keep fighting. And that pattern will keep you separated from money because you're just chasing it. And what I've noticed is that these relationship patterns are exactly the same relationship patterns you play in love. We're either chasing it or being avoidant of it or not wanting to be intimate of it because we don't trust the other, because we believe we'll either be let down or taken from. And we've translated that onto money, onto the way that we receive money. And yet in our core as women, we know the universe is abundant. We know that we are loved. We have been doing all of this work on our alignment, on our mindset, on our spiritual connection. We understand about wealth identity. We've been looking at energetics. And yet, even women who have done all of that, you will find that the majority of women who say they're successful have got these amazing businesses. The truth is, the money just goes. They haven't got the ongoing money. They haven't got the sustainable money. They haven't created wealth, true lasting wealth. They don't know how to turn it into something that stays because they're so busy working so hard to keep the money or make the money that when they get to the point that they have to decompress, otherwise they're going to explode as a generator type. Oh my gosh, they can generate and generate until they're burnt out. But before they do that, they have to get rid of the money because it's like, oh my God, I better spend it on something. I better get a decompress. I better feel better. And then they're back in the cycle again because it's a relationship pattern. It's a avoidance pattern. It's an anxious avoidance pattern. It's an anxious pattern. It's a disorganized pattern of push and pull. And that is the biggest one I see a lot in women, particularly in the modern woman. She is wanting it. She's wanting it. She doesn't hate money. She's done work around the idea that money's evil. She doesn't have that. She wants money. She's ready for money. She wants her business. She wants to succeed. And yet she's pushing it away and doesn't know why. So no matter what she does in manifesting and alignment and understanding her mind and energetics and speaking out the affirmations, she's still pushing it away because there's a relationship issue. There is a pattern, a money pattern she inherited. But the choice she gets now is whether it's going to be a legacy. Is she going to pass it on? It's going to be just as hard for her daughters or the girls that she interacts with, or is she going to change the story? Is she going to change the relationship and decide, no, actually, the fighting is done. The fighting is done. And I'm ready for secure. I've done the work. I've done the fighting, and I'm ready to have a secure, supportive, healthy, loving relationship with money because I love myself. And letting myself have the money is a loving relationship. The way that I treat it is a loving relationship. That's the decision. But it's not about fighting the women in the past. In fact, having deep compassion and gratitude for the women in the past. It's not about fighting the masculine and saying it's their fault. The modern day masculine, it is not their fault. If you fight against the past or you fight against someone else, you're still pushing your power outside of you. The only way that this gets to change is looking at the hidden money patterns inside of you and learning and discovering why it is some modern women are great with money and others just aren't. But it doesn't have to stay that way. It doesn't have to stay that way, which is why I've created this fantastic free booklet. It's only free because I absolutely want you to understand this. This feels like so important to me that I want it to be something that goes into your hands. But do understand very clearly, that does not mean this is some freebie that you can just scan through. This is deep. It is powerful. This is full of understanding of psychotherapy and understanding of money. This is based on huge amounts of work. This is coming as something that is priceless. Priceless. I couldn't put a price on it. And I want you to have it. And it's called The Hidden Money Patterns, Why Some Modern Women Are Great with Money and Others Aren't. And you deserve it because the time is now. It didn't start with you, but it can end with you. And that is the choice. So if this is hitting home to you, and I'm so pleased if it is, go grab the free guide, head on over to glitchestogold.com. The link is in the show notes, or just put it into Google, or come and follow me on Instagram at the Jo Warwick, the money therapist. You can find me on there or on Facebook. Message me if you want the link. Hit the posts that have the link. Hit the link in the bio. You know all the things. And if you really like the work that I do and you believe that the modern woman deserves to now have a healthy relationship, a secure relationship with money, she gets to change this. Please like, share, subscribe, tell every fucking woman you know about this. Like and follow me on Instagram. Share the love. Let's get this out there. This is the time. This is the now. And I share this with great love. As a projector, I want you to know that this is the time. If you want to know more about human design, that will be the next step from this free guide. If you want the next steps, get the relationship you want with money. That's a great first place. It's like $22. It will go hand in hand with that brilliant free guide. If you want to work with me one-to-one, there are links inside of there too. But get the free guide. Make the change. I'm sending you so much love. Have a beautiful day, and I will speak to you next time on the podcast.